developed that'll ensure security. I've just made a deal that'll keep the Empire out of here forever.
What's up, Yesterland fans? I'm Neil, aka the Mundus, and on today's episode, The Toys That Made Sense, we're going to be going over the Star Wars Hasbro 3.75 action figures, The Empire Strikes Back. Now, I know I jumped a couple videos on this and went right into the Mandalorian series, and I apologize for that, but we needed to get that content out at that time to reference on it. But now I'm going back. We're going to target the Empire Strikes Back collection in the retro line. So sit back, grab your favorite beverage and snack, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, guys, so here we are, other side of the camera as usual. And as you can see in this installment, we get another 6 figures. With that being said, we get 5 good guys and 1 bad guy in this line. The bad guy, starting from right to left, we'll go with Boba Fett. We got Yoda. We got Princess Leia in Hoth. We have Luke Bespin, and we have Han in Hoth, and then we have Cloud City Lando Calrissian. So that's the line that we got this time around when this came out in 2020. This was a follow-up release to the original retro release characters that came out. I believe it was a year before in 19. It could have been kind of 18. I can't remember. I know I said it in the video when I did it, but I just don't have those numbers off the top of my head, so I apologize. But anyways, here we go. Going in it. Let's do it right now. We have Boba Fett. Now, Boba Fett has that classic look that we remember as a child. I will say again, with some of this material they're using, these plastics, it is really looking like they're using something more shiny in the paint scheme, or it's the plastic they're using. But again, these have that real shiny look to them. But for me, it doesn't take away that nostalgia effect. And, you know, I'm leaving these in package, clearly, not because I'm looking for, you know, value in them later in life. It's just something that I've always liked. I've liked carded figures, and I've pretty much always kept the majority of my action figures on card, in card, if you will. So maybe at some point, maybe I'll crack these open and bring them out, but I'm not looking at it as a long-term investment here. So I just like card work, and I like the character next to the card work. I'm not fond of these cards again. We get the traditional, they're trying to go with this damaged, beat up card like it got beat up on the aisle, which is kind of irritating. We get the big nuisance sticker, as always, over the graphic. We do get the Retro Kenner logo down in the bottom right-hand corner, which is cool. We get the new warning, choking hazard, you know, legal mumble jumble they got to put up there. We get the age group, the lot number, assortment, and all that up in the left hand. And then flipping it around on the back, we get the, you know, the saying again. We don't get any figures, nothing like that, showing us what's coming in future releases, but it does say the Star Wars Retro Collection is inspired by the 1980 Star Wars figures and features original feature design and detailing. Continue your collection from the galaxy far, far away. So if you notice on this passage, they kind of changed it up a little bit the way they rewrote this. So this time they're paying more homage, if you will. Like I said in my last video, how they need to pay homage to it versus saying these are. So these, again, aren't originals. These are retro releases of the original, paying homage to what they were like when we were kids, when they came out, especially those 40-plus-year-old collectors or toy enthusiasts. So that's your Boba Fett. You get his blaster. You get some bright colors on him like he looked like when he originally came out. You get the missile on the back of the backpack back there that you can kind of see. And that's about it. That's what you get. That's how he came then. That's kind of how he comes now. So moving on, we have Yoda here. This is Orange Snake Yoda and Brown Cane Yoda. I know there were different variations in the snake. You had brown snake, orange snake. I knew there were lighter colored canes, darker colored canes, things like that. But I don't know where this one references in that. I forgot to mention, we also get the little instruction pamphlet down here. These all come standard in these cards. Again, Nuisance Retro sticker taking away from the graphic, typical card that you get, and the same thing on the back. Great little character here. Yoda really reminds me of what it was when I was a kid. This line and the New Hope line so far really got it really close, really close on the nose to like what these look like, and it really brings back that nostalgia for me. So I'm really happy with this line, even though they're retro. So yeah, pretty cool. Then you get the Princess Leia in her Hoth. Pretty standard. She comes with her blaster, and that's about it. You see her in her winter clothing. And again, pretty spot on to what she looked like when she came out originally. Get the retro sticker again. Everything is basically the same, just the graphic changes, and that's about it. Moving on, we got Luke in Bespin. Here we go. One of my favorite characters of all time. We get him with the yellow lightsaber, black pistol or blaster, and Luke himself. And he pretty much looks similar to the original. Now, there were many variations we know from overseas to the United States on how these were produced. So I'm going to say this is probably more just a regular Taiwan-made one. And that's about it. Yeah, standard USA release is what I would think if, you know. Now, some people have complained they believe they went a little light on the hair color. Some of them have some fading, or they didn't get painted thoroughly through. Mine appears to be just a tad bit faint in the front, like they just didn't get enough of it on there, but that's okay. It doesn't take away from the effect. Moving on, we have Han Solo. We got Han here. It's funny. These Han on Hoth and Luke on Hoth, as much as I liked the scene in the movie, they were probably two of my worst characters that I didn't like. For some reason, I just couldn't get into these characters as kids. I don't know what it was. It's just I could not find that connection with them. I love the scene in Empire Strikes Back, the opening scene and how it takes place. I just couldn't get into these characters, but obviously if I'm going to stay with the collection, I want to keep the collection in its entirety as, you know, this retro collection, so I had to pick him up. We get him in the standard blue, tan pants. Now, his color scheme on this, I know, is changed a little bit from what I understand. I believe he's a little bit more darker with this retro style versus the original release. His pants were a lot different color in the original. You get the black blaster, and that's about it. And the nuisance sticker here, and you get the picture of Han here on the front. Looks like he's on his tauntaun there, and he's out there hunting, looking for Luke when Luke went missing. Now we move on to Lando Calrissian. Lando Calrissian, Cloud City. This is going to be closed mouth Lando. This isn't smiling Lando where you see his teeth, you see his mouth open, or what they call the hero mouth. I wouldn't even call this the villain head, but this is just closed mouth Lando Calrissian. Pretty similar to what I remember as a kid. One thing that stands out really close for me is the pants. I remember the pants being almost that really dark grayish blue. So I believe that's going to be pretty damn near spot on. Now, I do have a paint blemish on his stomach. There's a little dot there. Probably got nicked in, you know, packaging and whatnot, but it's not the end of the world. One thing that's atrocious on this, as I noticed right out the bat, it's going to be his hair. It is very, very shiny. It almost looks like, remember those the Energizer battery commercials back in the 90s? When they were all plasticky like, and there were humans in those, you know, actors in those plastic costumes, and they had the big battery on their back. That's what his hair reminds me of. Reminds me of like one of those. So anyways, with that being said, you get his blaster, you get the small 3/4 cape on him. But again, it looks like Lando. That's kind of how I remember Lando looking when it came out for the Empire collection. Nuisance sticker there, covering up the beautiful graphic that we have of Billy D. Williams. So that's it, folks. This is the Empire Strikes Back Retro new release collection from 2020, 3.75. And I just wanted to touch base on it real quick here today, and I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you on the next video. If you liked the video you just watched, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, click here.